Welcome to the deep dive. We're going to be looking at this article from XPO Health's blog,
Okay.
all about virtual CISOs, or vCISOs, as they call them, and why they're becoming so essential, especially for these smaller organizations.
Yes, especially these days.
And get this, the average cost of a data breach
Okay.
in healthcare is over $10 million.
That's right. And when you think about behavioral health organizations,
Yeah.
dealing with all this sensitive patient data,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
therapy notes, diagnoses, medication records, the stakes are even higher.
So you're telling me that failing to invest in cybersecurity could essentially cost me $10 million.
It very well could, yeah.
Man, that's a gamble I'm not willing to take.
Right.
Okay, why is cybersecurity so important in behavioral health?
Well, like we just touched on, the sensitivity of patient data in this field is really paramount. It's not just about financial records or insurance information.
Right.
This is deeply personal information that, if compromised, could have some really serious consequences for individuals.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, healthcare organizations, including those in behavioral health, are really prime targets
Yeah.
for all these cyber criminals out there.
The article mentions phishing attacks and ransomware.
Oh, yeah.
Can you break those down for us?
Sure. So think of phishing attacks like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Okay.
It's a deceptive attempt to trick you into revealing sensitive information like passwords, often disguised as emails or texts from someone you trust.
Touched.
Now, ransomware, on the other hand, that's more like a digital hostage situation.
Ooh, okay.
Hackers will encrypt your files and then demand a ransom to unlock them.
Oh, wow.
And it can bring your whole operation to a standstill.
That sounds terrifying. So it's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Not only could you be handing over all this sensitive patient information,
Right.
but you're also losing access to your own systems.
Yeah, you're locked out.
And I imagine that fallout from those attacks can be pretty devastating.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
You're not just dealing with the immediate financial hit of the ransom or trying to recover all that lost data.
Right.
You're also looking at potential lawsuits,
Yeah.
damage to your reputation, and a real erosion of trust with your patients.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to reassure someone that their therapy notes are safe after a major breach.
Oh, man.
It's a tough road back from that.
Okay, so this is some serious stuff.
It is.
And that kind of brings us to the whole point.
Yeah.
The vCISO.
Yeah, the vCISO.
What exactly as a vCISO?
Right.
And how do they kind of fit into all of this?
So a vCISO is your virtual chief information security officer.
Okay.
Basically an on-demand cybersecurity expert.
Gotcha.
So think of it like having a seasoned security pro on call,
Okay.
ready to guide and support you, without the cost of a full-time, in-house CISO.
So instead of like scrambling to put out fires,
Right.
a vCISO is kind of helping me build a fortress.
Exactly. They bring a wealth of experience
Yeah.
to help you develop a really strong security strategy,
Mhm.
manage all those complicated regulations,
Yep.
and respond effectively if something does happen, if there is an incident.
You mentioned regulations, and they're basically the rule book for keeping patient data safe, right?
Right.
But they can be pretty confusing.
Oh, absolutely.
How does a vCISO help me make sense of all those rules
Yeah.
and avoid any penalties?
You're right, those regulations are essential, but they can be a real headache.
For sure.
But a vCISO, they live and breathe this stuff.
Yeah.
They'll break it down for you,
Yeah.
making sure your cybersecurity strategy aligns with all the rules. Think of them as your compliance co-pilot,
Okay.
helping you stay on course and avoid those hefty fines.
Yeah.
We're talking up to $50,000
Whoa.
per HIPAA violation.
$50,000.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Ouch. Suddenly, a vCISO sounds a lot more affordable.
Right.
Speaking of cost, the article also mentions that this is a cost-efficient way to get this level of expertise. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. Hiring a full-time CISO can be incredibly expensive.
Okay.
Salaries often exceeding $165,000 a year.
Wow.
That's a huge investment for any organization.
Yeah.
Especially smaller ones.
Right.
With a vCISO, you get that high-level expertise for a fraction of the cost.
Okay.
Think more like $5,000 to $10,000 a month.
Okay.
And you only pay for the services you need.
Wow, that is a huge difference.
It is.
It's like getting a cybersecurity guru
Yeah,
at a bargain price.
that's a good way to put it.
So they're not just saving me from a potential $10 million data breach,
Right.
but they're also saving me a ton of money up front.
Precisely. And remember, a vCISO can also help you optimize your existing tech investments.
Oh, okay.
They'll assess your current tools and software, making sure you're getting the most bang for your buck while ensuring top-notch security.
Okay, so we've talked about kind of the financial risks and the legal side of things.
Right.
But what about the strategic side?
Yeah.
The article mentions strategic cybersecurity leadership.
It does.
How does a vCISO bring that to the table?
What's fascinating here is that a vCISO doesn't just take a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay.
They work closely with you to understand your specific needs and your vulnerabilities.
Okay.
It's like a tailor creating a custom suit.
Okay.
They're not just slapping on generic security measures.
So they're really tailoring a plan
Exactly.
that fits my organization's unique risk profile and budget.
Yes.
I like that. No cookie-cutter solution.
No cookie-cutter solutions.
Yeah. They help you prioritize those high-risk areas.
Exactly.
Ensure that you're meeting those compliance requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And basically lay the foundation for a really robust security posture.
That's right.
This is all starting to make a lot of sense.
Good.
So it's not just about reacting to threats.
Right.
It's about proactively building a strong defense.
You got it.
Let's talk more about that proactive side.
Okay.
What about risk assessments and incident response planning?
Yeah.
Why are those so important in behavioral health?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's all about being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, every organization has its own unique set of risks.
Yeah.
But in behavioral health, those stakes are amplified
Right.
because of the sensitivity of the data.
Yeah.
A vCISO will conduct a thorough risk assessment,
Okay.
kind of like a vulnerability checkup
Mm-hmm.
for your whole organization.
Gotcha.
They'll identify weaknesses both within your systems
Okay.
and amongst your staff.
Ooh. So they're looking both inward and outward.
Precisely. And based on that assessment, they'll help you develop a solid risk management plan,
Okay.
outlining strategies to mitigate those risks.
Okay.
That includes those external threats,
Yeah.
like the phishing attacks we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
as well as those internal risks,
Right.
like accidental data breaches.
Okay.
Because let's face it, sometimes our own team can be the weakest link, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely sent an email to the wrong person before.
We've all been there.
It happens. So how does a vCISO help me make sure my team doesn't accidentally become that weak link in the security chain?
That's where staff training comes in.
Okay.
And building a security-first culture,
Mm-hmm.
a good vCISO will create tailored training programs for everyone in the organization,
Okay.
from the front desk to the executive suite.
Wow. So it's not just about having the right technology.
Right.
It's about having the right mindset.
Exactly. It's about shifting the culture from, it won't happen to us, to, we all have a role to play in protecting this information.
Mm-hmm.
And in behavioral health, where confidentiality is so crucial,
Yeah.
this culture shift can really strengthen trust with patients.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to know that you take their privacy seriously.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that stood out to me in the article
Okay.
was scalability.
Mm-hmm.
How does a vCISO provide support as my organization grows and evolves?
Yeah.
We're thinking about implementing some telehealth solutions soon,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a little nervous about the security implications.
That's a great question, and it really highlights one of the biggest advantages of working with a vCISO.
Okay.
They're incredibly adaptable.
Oh.
Whether you're expanding to new locations,
Yeah.
adopting new technologies like telehealth, or just generally growing as an organization,
Right.
a vCISO can scale their support to meet your changing needs.
Right.
They'll help you assess and mitigate the risks that come with those changes
Mm-hmm.
so that security remains a top priority every step of the way.
It's like having a cybersecurity partner who kind of grows with me
Exactly.
and helps me navigate all the twists and turns.
Exactly, and that long-term perspective is so valuable,
Yeah.
especially as technology keeps advancing at such a rapid pace.
The article also touches on the idea of building trust
Mm-hmm.
through cybersecurity excellence.
Yes.
How does a vCISO help with that?
Well, think about it. In behavioral health, trust is everything.
Yeah.
Patients need to know that their most personal information is safe with you. By implementing robust security measures
Yeah.
and having a plan in place to deal with any incidents swiftly and effectively,
Yeah.
you're demonstrating that commitment to protecting their privacy.
Yeah.
It's not just about data, it's about people.
It's about showing him that I take their well-being seriously,
Exactly.
both in the therapy room and in the digital world.
Precisely. And that builds trust not only with patients,
Yeah.
but also with partners, regulators, and your staff. It shows everyone that you're serious about cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a huge differentiator
Yeah.
in a field where trust is paramount.
So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this conversation about vCISOs and cybersecurity in behavioral health?
I think the biggest takeaway is that cybersecurity is no longer something you can afford to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about protecting data, it's about protecting people.
Right.
And a vCISO can be your guide,
Yeah.
your partner
Right.
in navigating this complex landscape.
And ensuring that your organization is prepared for whatever threats might come your way.
Absolutely well said.
This has been another fascinating deep dive. And to our listeners, we hope you found this information helpful.
Yes, stay safe out there.
And we'll catch you next time for another insightful exploration.